here in Kyiv, it's been relatively calm over the weekend. Not many strikes, actually. Obviously, heavy bombardment continues out east. That's been put down largely to Keith Kellogg, the US envoy to Ukraine's presence here. President Zelensky saying that Kellogg is a better air defense than Patriot missiles. And that's because the Russians have seemingly suspended attacks here, while we've seen a lot more going on in Poland and Romania.
Tell us what happened in Poland and Romania. Poland at the end of last week. There are clear concerns that wasn't sort of remedied after that incursion into Polish territory over the weekend. Clear concerns that Russia's war with Ukraine is leaking out deliberately into NATO territory.
Yes, we originally saw 19 to 23 drones crossing into Polish territory on Wednesday. No deaths, but one coming down very close to a Polish military base near the border with Belarus, and another destroying a man's house. That was then followed, as you said, Friday afternoon by what was likely a reconnaissance drone repeatedly crossing into Romania from the Ukrainian border. That's Romania, of course, being another NATO nation. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte saying that these are clearly deliberate attempts to escalate the conflict and kind of aggravate NATO. NATO's response so far has been a deployment called Eastern Sentry. That's made up of more Western air defences being moved into Poland from other NATO nations, French Rafale jets as well coming alongside those, and a brigade of German soldiers being deployed in the Baltics to try and bolster the defences in Eastern Europe.
What's the response been in Ukraine? Clearly, Zelensky is furious and is asking for, as he did when this happened in Poland, and so did the Polish Prime Minister, for much more significant, tougher sanctions on Russia.
Among most people here in Kyiv, there's not a huge sense of surprise. I think Ukraine has been waiting for this sort of attack for some time. They've been warning that Russia will attempt to expand this war, but using what you might call a sort of below threshold attacks. Oh, there were drones, but none of them exploded kind of thing. I mean, that doesn't, Ukrainians don't see it that way. It's any drone is an attack. There's some level of surprise at how NATO has gone about stopping these attacks. Ukraine sees these sort of drone attacks every day and has a relatively high level of success in shooting down these drones. But they were surprised that so many were able to get through, and that Poland, using quite advanced fighter jets and such, wasn't able to shoot more of them down. Speaking to former US officials who were here at a conference in the last few days, there's definitely a sense of frustration at the lack of a more significant response from NATO, a feeling that they're being too defensive, and something more like extending an air defense barrier into Ukraine could now be appropriate to shoot these drones down before they reach Poland or other NATO countries. But there's no sign of that yet out of NATO.